The views and opinions expressed today on Black Focus Radio are not the views and opinions of the station, its management, or its advertisers. Now, let's get ready to focus on our issues, our solutions, using our voices on Black Focus Radio.
Welcome to Black Focus, the show designed with our community in mind, where we focus on our issues, developing our solutions, using our voices. Central Arkansas, surrounding areas, and the nation. Get ready. Black Focus starts right now. Phone lines open at 855-525-5683. So here's your host, David W. Coleman. Well, good afternoon, everybody. David W. Coleman here for Black Focus Radio. Our issues, our solutions, our voices. 855-525-5683 is the number. But the best way to get in touch with me is send me an email or IG blackfocusradio@gmail.com. I'll be sure to answer. Look, I am glad to be back. A lot of things have been going on. Of course, if you don't know, I've moved to the DMV area. I've finally been able to go back to Little Rock and pick up all of my stuff as it relates to I had like a storage that I've been paying like $60 a month for like since I moved back to Little Rock about 6 years ago. So I had to basically clean that thing out, loaded up a truck, moved back, or brought all that stuff back to Towson, Maryland, where I now reside, and it's been fun. Let's just say it like that, okay? It's been fun. So, a lot of things to talk about, of course, today. We got to talk a little bit about Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the laughingstock of the nation. That includes Arkansas and you people who voted for her. Why was she here in D.C.? I'll answer that question for you and tell you why it should concern black people in Arkansas. All right. Britney Griner and her wife has made headlines. We're going to talk about that today. That kind of went viral on social media. So we're going to talk about that a little bit as well because, look, okay, I'm going to hold my peace for right now, okay? We also got to talk about the dust-up in the Oversight Committee hearing. By now you've heard of it, I hope. It went viral as well. So we're going to talk about that, and it's simply chaos in the United States Congress right now. So we'll get into that as well. But before we do all of that, we have to do Black Facts, and today's Black Facts are 20 black people that we don't talk about, but we're going to talk about them here on Black Facts. So we'll do that right now.
Dynamic Black Facts. Our culture, our history, our people.
Throughout history, there has been a harmful notion that black individuals are intellectually inferior to their white counterparts. It was never their fault, as white people used pseudo-scientific theories to justify their subjugation of black people. One such example is eugenics, with Paul Brandon Barringer stating that there was an absolute limit to African Americans' biological and social advancement. Barringer believed that under the conditions of slavery, black individuals had advanced beyond their natural selection through selective breeding by slave owners. In other words, these theories claimed that black people were intellectually inferior to white people, often citing physical differences in skull shape or size as supposed evidence. As such, these ideas were used to justify the oppression of black people and to deny them access to many opportunities. Even after the abolition of slavery and the civil rights movement, these harmful stereotypes still appeared and persisted. They continue to be perpetuated through media, education systems, and everyday interactions. But time and again, black individuals have proven the opposite. They have constantly shown remarkable intelligence and ability to reach never-before-seen levels of innovation. So today, we will be acknowledging 20 of the most intelligent black people and their contribution to humankind. Give this video a like to show your support and subscribe to always be part of our insightful discussions. With that, let's begin.
My problem was to answer questions. And I did that to the best of my ability at all times.
Her journey began back in 1939 at West Virginia State College, where she made history as the first black student at the institution. After taking some time to focus on raising her family, Johnson joined the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics in 1953 before making the leap to NASA. And boy, did she make her mark there. In NASA's Space Task Group, Johnson was able to make a lasting impact, co-authoring engineering papers and debriefing missions. Her precise calculations were absolutely vital in missions like Freedom 7 and Friendship 7, ensuring the safe journey of astronauts like Alan B. Shepard Jr. and John Glenn into space. Even though she passed away in 2020 at the remarkable age of 101, Katherine Johnson's brilliance and pioneering spirit will continue to inspire generations to come. Carver's love for plants earned him the nickname the Plant Doctor. Growing up, he had limited access to education as a slave. But did that stop him? Not at all. He went on to become the first ever African American to earn bachelor's and master's degrees in science from Iowa State University. Booker T. Washington recognized Carver's incredible talent and offered him a prestigious position at Tuskegee University in Alabama. There, Carver made history with his remarkable research on crop rotation techniques, helping to replenish soil nutrients after harvests. He also championed the cultivation of soybeans, peanuts, and sweet potatoes to boost soil fertility and ensure plenty of food for everyone. To top it off, Carver even led the charge in using carbon to supercharge crop growth and fight climate change. Impressive, right? Despite facing heavy discrimination early on, Julian became a star student and even graduated as valedictorian from DePaul University in Indiana. But despite earning master's and doctorate degrees from top-notch institutions like Harvard and the University of Vienna, Julian still had to deal with racial prejudice, which held him back from becoming a professor. However, it seems that he was bound to shine wherever he went. Julian went on to become the laboratory director at Glidden Company, where he invented aerofoam, a soy-based foam that could put out oil and gas fires. In 1954, he founded Julian Laboratories and became one of the first black millionaires in the process. Even though he faced some tough times, Julian's legacy lives on through the Julian Research Institute, where he continued to do groundbreaking work until he passed away in 1975. His contributions to science are of high importance, even if they're not always as widely recognized as they should be. Even when faced with prejudice and gender bias, she never let anything stop her from reaching her educational goals. By 1956, she had earned both bachelor's and master's degrees in mathematics. As a mathematician at the U.S. Naval Proving Ground, West teamed up with her future husband, Ira V. West, to tackle some seriously remarkable projects. The works of this power duo were quite significant for missions related to Pluto, Neptune, and even the management of a U.S. Navy ocean surveillance satellite initiative. Even though West is often overlooked because of her race and gender, she is a true hero and asset in the scientific community. She's not just brilliant in math, she also holds advanced degrees in public administration and has racked up plenty of awards, like the Prince Philip Medal and induction into the U.S. Air Force Hall of Fame.
I invented a new internet that is a new supercomputer.
Also known as the Bill Gates of Africa, is known for his intellect, surpassing even the intelligence of Bill Gates himself. Born in Nigeria in 1954, Philip displayed a natural affinity for technology, mathematics, and computers from an early age. Despite facing financial hardships that forced him to leave school at 14, his father was determined to provide Philip with education, even at home. Eventually, Philip earned a scholarship to Oregon State University, where he earned a Bachelor of Science in Mathematics, followed by a PhD in Scientific Computing from the University of Michigan in 1989. Philip made history by creating the world's fastest computer, a supercomputer capable of performing a staggering 3.1 billion calculations per second. Beyond its impressive speed, Emeagwali's supercomputer was highly capable of addressing a wide range of computational tasks. One notable application of this supercomputer was its capability to solve complex mathematical and scientific problems, ranging from intricate equations to simulations in physics and engineering. The supercomputer proved instrumental in weather forecasting, leveraging its computational power to analyze vast meteorological data sets and generate accurate predictions, thus aiding in disaster preparedness and mitigation efforts. Emeagwali was also able to harness the capabilities of his creation for tasks such as oil reservoir modeling, drug discovery, and molecular modeling, as well as cryptographic analysis and cybersecurity research, saving significant sums for the United States annually. Thanks to his groundbreaking achievements, Philip received prestigious awards such as the Gordon Bell Prize and the Nobel Prize for Computation. Hailing from Decatur, Alabama, she showed remarkable intelligence, earning a prestigious National Achievement Scholarship to Stanford University. After that, she went on to get her medical degree from Cornell University Medical College and practiced medicine at the University of Southern California Medical Center. Jemison's dream of going to space sparked during her time as a medical officer for the Peace Corps in Sierra Leone and Liberia. In 1987, she made history by becoming the first black woman accepted into the astronaut program. And guess what? She didn't just stop there. During her space mission aboard the Space Shuttle Endeavour, Jemison conducted research on motion sickness and weightlessness. Oh, and let's not forget her unforgettable guest appearance on an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. How cool is that? Mae Jemison's journey is not just inspiring, it's out of this world. When she became the youngest member of the American Mensa at the age of 2, Cassie Quest, the daughter of a Native American mother and an African American father in Los Angeles County, California, made headlines. The charming little girl, with remarkable intelligence, has caught the imagination of people across the globe. At first, Cassie's sharp thinking was evident. By the age of 18 months, she had developed advanced language and comprehension skills. Cassie is an incredibly talented individual who has quite a few skills up her sleeve. She's not only great at speaking multiple languages like Spanish and American Sign Language, but she's also incredibly knowledgeable about geography, government, and science. What's even more impressive is that from a very young age, Cassie has shown exceptional memory and cognitive abilities. She can easily recall every state in the United States, every element on the periodic table, and even every continent and its countries without breaking a sweat. Alana George, assessed by educational psychologist Dr. Peter Condon, was recognized as an intellectual prodigy at just 4 years old, with an impressive IQ of 140. Her extraordinary abilities included reading skills she taught herself and a level of comprehension beyond her years. Alana had a deep love for letters and numbers, demonstrating literacy skills even before starting formal education. By age 4, she became a member of Mensa, astounding evaluators with her cognitive abilities. To keep her engaged, experts recommended adjustments to her schooling, leading to modifications at St. George's School in Windsor Castle. With an IQ of 145 by the time she was just 5 years old, it is safe to say that Anala Beavers, a young girl from New Orleans, is not your ordinary 5-year-old. In fact, she is incredibly bright. To put it into perspective, Albert Einstein himself had an IQ of 160. It's incredibly rare for a child to show such remarkable intelligence. Beaver started showing her talents as early as 4 months old, as she was already mastering the alphabet at the time. She was also mastering counting in both English and Spanish by the time she was 18 months. By her 5th birthday, she could name every state in North America and its capital. Despite her amazing achievements, her dad, Landon Beavers, worried about the limited educational options available for her in their local area. He wants to make sure she gets a well-rounded education even though she's way ahead of her peers intellectually. Later on, Anala got an invitation to join Mensa International, a prestigious group for super smart people, which puts her in the top 1% of the population in terms of brain power. Caleb Anderson became one of the youngest African-American males to be accepted into Mensa, a prestigious society reserved for the top 2% scorers on IQ tests, and that marked the start of his journey as an exceptionally intelligent individual. From the beginning, his talent was obvious. He had an extraordinary ability of absorbing and holding information. When Caleb was a baby, he astounded his family by imitating speech patterns at the age of 4 weeks, indicating not only his ability to listen, but also that he could read and understand. By the time he turned 3, Caleb had secured a desired spot in Mensa. Caleb was a language prodigy, mastering Mandarin, Spanish, French, American Sign Language, and English from a young age. But despite his academic achievements, his teenage peers struggled to understand just how extraordinary he was. Still, Caleb didn't let anything stop him. He graduated from high school at the incredible age of 11 and went on to Chattahoochee Technical College, driven by his passion to make a real difference. Ramani quickly rose as an exceptional talent, even surpassing famous figures like Albert Einstein and Stephen Hawking by the age of 11, with an astonishing IQ score of 162. This earned him the title of London's brightest boy and firmly established him as a genius. His remarkable intellect shone through from a young age, showing a deep interest in academics and consistently outshining his peers, starting as early as preschool. By age 10, Ramani was already gaining recognition for a paper on justice theory, displaying wisdom beyond his years. Despite his scholarly achievements, he found joy in simple pleasures like playing with his dog and diving into comic books.
Marie Maynard Daly.
Dr. Daly.
She was the first
African-American woman to receive
to get her
PhD.
To earn a PhD in chemistry.
Also known as the Black Marie Curie for her amazing contributions to science, Daly is the first black woman to ever receive a PhD. She grew up in New York City and was surrounded by a family that really valued education. She was especially inspired by her father, who worked hard to study chemistry at Cornell University despite facing financial challenges. Taking a page from her dad's book, Daly pursued her own passion for chemistry in college. Throughout her career, Daly conducted groundbreaking research as a biochemist, focusing on cholesterol and histons. She also made sure to give back to the community by advocating for greater diversity in the scientific world. And in tribute to her dad, she established a scholarship at Queen's College. Born on September 15, 1852 in New Haven, Connecticut, Boucher showed early promise as an outstanding student, even graduating as the valedictorian of his high school class. Coming from a prominent African-American family in New Haven, Boucher's parents had big dreams for him, including attending Yale College, a school that had never admitted an African-American student before. But Boucher did not just get in. He became the first African-American elected into the Academic Honor Society Phi Beta Kappa upon graduating in 1874. Though his membership was delayed due to some challenges at Yale, such as racial bias, Boucher was still able to make history. He continued his academic journey at Yale by enrolling in graduate school, where he earned his doctorate in physics in just 2 years, by 1876. Despite facing significant racial barriers in pursuing a career as a research scientist, Boucher didn't let anything hold him back. Instead, he dedicated the majority of his career to teaching and administrative roles within segregated African American schools. Born in 1933 in Birmingham, Alabama, Easley faced discrimination in her journey to success. Raised by her parents, Samuel and Mary Easley, Annie initially pursued nursing before following her passion for pharmacy after studying at Xavier University in New Orleans. Back in Birmingham, she even worked as a substitute teacher and helped prepare literacy tests for voter registration, despite their unfair bias against African Americans. In 1954, Annie moved to Cleveland, Ohio, where she stumbled upon an article about twin sisters working as human computers at NASA. Inspired by their story, she applied and landed a job at NASA, kicking off her 34-year tenure as a computer scientist and mathematician. Even though she faced challenges as one of the few African American employees at NASA, Annie's strong work ethic and high school education helped her tackle complex equations with ease. She even played a pivotal role in space research and missions, including the first man to orbit the Earth, astronaut John Glenn's historic launch in 1962. Annie J. Easley's passing in 2011 marked the end of an incredible journey, but her legacy lives on, inspiring the next generation of students to pursue impactful careers in STEM. For 34 years, Hawkins lent his brilliance to Bell Laboratories, where he played a key role in developing sturdy plastics for protecting telephone wires. Thanks to his work, telephone access expanded, especially in rural areas. Additionally, he was also a passionate advocate for minority students, earning well-deserved recognition in 1973 for his groundbreaking research and dedication to inclusivity. Later on, he took on the chairmanship at Montclair State University, adding another impressive accomplishment to his already extensive list. Hawkins was soon honored with the National Medal of Technology by President George H.W. Bush himself. Fun fact, he even made history as the first African American elected to the National Academy of Engineering in 1975. Born in 1950 in Lansing, Michigan, she made history as the first female African-American neurosurgeon in the United States. Kennedy also earned the distinction of being the very first African-American woman certified by the American Board of Neurological Surgery, specializing in pediatric neurosurgery. Rising through the ranks, Kennedy eventually became the director of neurosurgery at a leading children's hospital in the nation, where she made significant contributions to her field. Her passion for medicine was ignited during her undergraduate years at the University of Michigan, where she earned a degree in zoology in 1971. Continuing her studies at the University of Michigan's College of Medicine, Kennedy completed her residency in neurosurgery at the University of Minnesota. After a fellowship in pediatric neurosurgery at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, she returned to Michigan and joined the neurosurgery department at Detroit's Henry Ford Hospital, where she continued to excel and make a real difference in the lives of her patients. What makes Benjamin incredible is that he taught himself arithmetic and astronomy. Can you believe that back in 1789, Banneker accurately predicted a solar eclipse just by carefully observing the skies? Using his math skills, Banneker delved into celestial motions, even decoding those illustrated on the MUA constellation globe. But he wasn't just a scientist, he was also a champion for equality, challenging ideas of racial superiority. In a letter to Thomas Jefferson, who asked him to help map Washington D.C., Banneker's legacy shone bright, showing us the powerful connection between science and social justice. Originally from Washington D.C, Drew wasn't just smart, he was also a star athlete who earned himself a scholarship. After teaching biology and coaching football at Morgan College, he headed to McGill University in Canada, where he graduated at the top of his class. Drew became famous for his groundbreaking work in transfusion medicine, especially his innovative method for storing blood plasma for long periods. This was a game-changer during World War II. Drew faced challenges in securing funding for his research endeavors due to racial bias within funding institutions. This limited his ability to conduct research and make significant contributions to medical science. Despite facing racial discrimination and segregation, his work significantly advanced the field of blood transfusion and saved countless lives. Let's talk about Daniel Hale Williams, an incredible surgeon whose achievements changed the course of medical history. Before diving into medicine, Williams had quite the journey. He started out as a shoemaker's apprentice and even worked as a barber. But it wasn't long before he found his true calling, helping others. After graduating from Chicago Medical College, Williams became known for founding Provident Hospital in 1891. It was a big deal because it was the very first hospital in the United States that accepted both black and white patients. This groundbreaking institution provided essential medical care to black patients and became a hub for training aspiring black physicians and nurses. He made headlines again for performing one of the earliest successful open-heart surgeries, saving the patient's life. Fast forward to 1894, and Williams was appointed chief surgeon at Freedman's Hospital in Washington, D.C, where he worked tirelessly to improve and expand the hospital's services. He introduced vital facilities like ambulances and opened doors for medical training for black students.
I'm Lonnie Johnson. I'm an inventor. The invention that most people know me for is the Super Soaker water gun. I knew the gun worked well and I knew it would be successful.
He is the mastermind behind some of the coolest toys to ever exist. Inspired by his dad's knack for fixing things around the house, Johnson developed a love for inventing from a young age. In 1989, he hit the jackpot with his invention of the Super Soaker squirt gun, which made the summer days of children a whole lot more entertaining. This awesome creation not only became a beloved toy worldwide, but also racked up over $200 million in sales. And that's the list, everybody. We hope that you enjoyed and found some inspiration out of the video. We hope for your success in life, and may the individuals in this video encourage you to do more of what you love today. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. If you like this content, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future uploads. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. We look forward to seeing you in the next video.
Keep listening to Black Focus Radio for more dynamic black facts, our culture, our history, our people on joynetradio.com.
All right, I hope you enjoyed that. There's a reason why I played that black fact, okay? Because of what we're going to talk about here after the break is Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and one of the great names in Arkansas history in the civil rights struggle that had a statue dedicated to her about a week or so ago here in the D.C. area. There were a lot of Arkansas people here, including Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and my question was, why was she here? We'll take a break. We're back. Black Focus Radio. Our issues, our solutions, our voices, right here on joynetradio.com.
Hi, I'm David W. Coleman, host of Black Focus Radio and the weekly sports magazine. We here at joynetradio.com would like to thank you for all the love and support you've given us. Our goal is to keep you inspired and informed daily with quality programming from gospel music, news, talk, and sports. Log on to joynetradio.com for the program lineup, and while there, be sure to make a donation. Then download our app and carry us anywhere in the world. Please continue to spread the word about joynetradio.com. And if you are an entrepreneur or have an upcoming event or you'd like to start a show, let the professional writers and producers here at joynetradio.com help you get the word out. Call me at 615-554-0568 for more details. In the meantime, stay informed and inspired daily right here on joynetradio.com. David W. Coleman here for Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub and Rib Nuts. Go to ribrub.com, that's RIBBRUBB.com right now, and stock up on the best dry marinades for baking, grilling, and smoking your favorite meats. 3 great flavors, hot and spicy, original, and scorching. Try them at your next cookout and you'll shout, bake it, grill it, shake it, oh yeah! Only one place to get Coleman's Dynamic products, that's ribrub.com. Easy to order, and I'll ship direct to you or to friends and family anywhere in the United States. While on the site, be sure to check out other great items, especially the rib nuts. Who'd have thunk it? Peanuts sauteed in a barbecue marinade? That's just crazy good. Get them at ribrub.com right now, along with other great recipes. That's ribrub.com. If you don't like my rib rub or rib nuts, I'll give you money back. Do it today. That's Coleman's Dynamic Products at ribrub.com. Listen! Did you miss Dr. Ernest Gill from UT San Antonio?
When you're making $455 million off these student athletes and all you can come up with is $5,000, John Calipari makes $8 million a year, and his players are going to get $5,000 a year. The majority of these teams were white men and white males and females. Would this be happening? And I would say no, because their families wouldn't let it happen. But we're letting our kids get pimped.
Join the weekly sports magazine every Saturday, 8 to 10 a.m. on joynetradio.com.
All right, welcome back to the show, Black Focus Radio, our issues, our solutions, our voices. Hit me up on email. Don't forget YouTube, Facebook, and, well, we don't do much on Twitter anymore. I guess they call it X now. Just don't support Elon Musk. But you know how to hit me. Here's my email, blackfocusradio@gmail.com, if you want to send me some information or some guest appearances as well. We'll be doing some other things as well. In the background, you can kind of see my, this is the brief setup that we have as it relates to the studio. We're still working out some kinks, trying to figure out what would be best. So we'll keep you posted on that, but of course we'll keep bringing you some live content and so on and so forth about the issues of the day. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. All right, so I want to talk a little bit this segment about the dedication of the statue of Daisey Gaston Bates last week here in Washington D.C. Okay, because I think it's important to understand who Daisey Gaston Bates was and why it was important. All right. So, and I'm going to tell you why I'm talking about this, because, you know, those 20 people that were in Black Facts that they don't want to talk about, these people that now white people are afraid to talk about. We're going to talk about them, and as you know, we talk about them on a regular basis. I'm quickly taking a note because I want to touch on something else later on in the show. So I want you to make sure you support our sponsors as well. Of course, ribrub.com. And look, oh man, I forgot. At the top of the next hour, we're going to talk a little bit about the 2 gift boxes I'm giving away to dads. Okay, so I'm just telling you, I'm giving away 2 gift boxes to dads. All right, so you just gotta let me know how you wanna, if you wanna participate. Okay, Just make a nomination. Ain't no big deal. I'm going to pull names. That's how I'm going to do it. Okay? I don't need you to write a letter, nothing like that. Just nominate your dad. And if you want to tell me why, that would be cool to tell me why. So that way when I talk about your dad, if he wins, then I'll be able to have something to say positive about your dad. Okay? So, all right. So, what I'm talking about here is Daisey Gaston Bates. Okay? She was an NAACP leader and key supporter of the Little Rock Nine, who integrated Little Rock Central during the 1957-58 school year. Okay? I got a chance to meet a lady just by chance who is friends with Ernest Green's sister in South Dakota. It's crazy how I bump into people. But anyway, and to have the conversation with her about being a graduate of Little Rock Central some 22 years later after 1957 was fascinating to me. It was, and to her as well. I'm going to tell you why I'm talking about Daisey Gaston Bates. Just follow me along here for a moment. This is a great article. It is in a piece by the architect of the Capitol, and I'm not going to read all of this, but Arkansas gave this statue to the National Statuary Hall Collection in 2024. It is a sculptor by the name of Benjamin Victor's fourth statue to enter the collection, the most of any living artist. Okay. Bates wears a dark suit with a button detail on the pockets and a lighter blouse with the collar layered over the suit lapels. Her impeccable appearance indicates both her personal style and her role as a leader in Little Rock's business community. She and her husband, L.C. Bates, published the Arkansas State Press, which focused on the African American community and consistently pressed for civil rights. Bates had always paid attention to her appearance, and as she became more involved in activism, she used her beauty, femininity, and respectable self-presentation to change prevailing stereotypes of African American women. Her personal style contributed to her dignified, almost regal presence, matching her ability to remain cool under pressure. Friends recall her consistently wearing heeled shoes and polished ensembles. Her jewelry, including a wedding ring on her left hand, is based on pieces Bates wore in the photograph. The earrings are daisies, which Victor employs as a reference to Bates' love for flowers and as part of the artistic tradition of using flowers to indicate beauty, peace, and love. The pin on Bates' left lapel reads NAACP 1957. Bates shared her husband's investment in the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People as a tool for fighting white supremacy and providing fairer opportunities for African Americans. It was Daisey, however, who took on the more public leadership roles. In 1952, she was elected president of the Arkansas State Conference of Branches, a position that placed her in the center of the NAACP and its efforts to desegregate Little Rock Central schools. Bates served on the NAACP's national board from 1957 to 1970. During the 1960s, she worked on voter registration, mostly for Democratic National Committee under John Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson. She also worked on anti-poverty programs, even moving to Mitchellville, Arkansas for several years to take part of her work to revitalize the town, if I can get it out. This article goes on to discuss the statue that is now sitting in Statuary Hall. It's a beautiful statue. I'm planning to go by and see it here real soon. More about Daisey Bates. Why was she important? Daisey Bates is an African-American civil rights activist and newspaper publisher. Through her newspaper, Bates documented the battle to end segregation in Arkansas. For her amazing career in social activism, we celebrate her as an American hero. Bates was born Daisey Gaston in Huddick, Arkansas, November 11th, 1914. Okay? Think about that. Beautiful statue donated by Arkansas. Makes you wonder why they donated it, but that's another story for another day. But a beautiful statue nonetheless of Daisey Gaston Bates. You know, those of you who have listened to my show, you understand that I am very partial to Little Rock Central. Of one of the great things that I've done in my life, and I've done a few, was graduate from Little Rock Central, to be part of its legacy, to show the world that we did overcome racism, at least for a while, in that microcosm of a high school called Little Rock Central. In fact, during the time that I was there, from 77 to 79, I don't recall one racial fight. I just don't. Of course, I participated in a lot of activities at that school. In fact, it's funny, now that I've moved, I'm finding things from high school that I'm going to actually donate to the library. But it's really weird. So I take umbrage to anyone who tries to cast aspersions on it. And unfortunately, the things that are happening in a Little Rock school district and the attack on the public schools continue, it has become problematic. I hear stories now that it is actually two schools in one, white kids and black kids. It's segregated inside the school because of Republican politics. One of which is to cancel all the AP studies courses that related to African Americans. You remember that being done? Do you remember who did it? Sarah Huckabee Sanders did. The governor of Arkansas. What many have dubbed, or who many have dubbed, as the worst, most unqualified governor in the state of Arkansas, in the country. That's Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And Sarah Huckabee Sanders decided that AP courses for African American studies in the state of Arkansas would no longer be taught or accredited as AP courses. Hello? You know, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the governor of Arkansas, who is dubbed the most unqualified governor in the nation. I'm just being honest with you. So, you said, well, Dave, what does all of that have to do with the tea in China? Well, I'm going to tell you here in just a moment. Hold your horses. See, the thing is that Sarah Huckabee Sanders is a bigot and a racist. And she, like many whites, try to glom on to causes to pretend or to suggest that they are supportive of black people. You remember when Tom Cotton came out with his statement related to Jackie Robinson, right? Don't have that statement in front of me, but certainly if you follow the news, Tom Cotton, a senator from Arkansas, came out with this politically correct statement thanking Jackie Robinson for all of the things. But see, Tom Cotton is part of the Sarah Huckabee Sanders ilk. Is they don't want to talk about why those people had to suffer and go through the things that they did and why now they are an icon. They don't want to teach that to people in schools. Do you understand what I'm saying? They don't want to teach that, and they're not. So it brings me back to Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And it brings me back to why I read that brief synopsis of the article relating to the dedication of the statue of Daisey Gaston Bates. You know, it's funny, I grew up in that community, and I was telling a friend, the lady that I met just happenstance, who knew Ernest Green's sister, who lived in South Dakota. It was crazy, it really was. By the way, if you're listening, I hope you got back to South Dakota safely. I know you and your daughter are driving back. But it's amazing that I lived in that community and how I was surrounded by chaos and didn't know it as a kid. Okay? Now, obviously that happened before I was born. But man, it was so chaotic in Little Rock as I look back on it as an adult. I understand so many things. I understand that, like, Thelma Mothershed. I went to kindergarten and elementary school with her sister. Never knew that was Thelma Mothershed's sister, Karen Mothershed. And I think it was about 6th grade. And Karen and I was in the same class. And I think this is the epitome of why history should be taught. Now, as I just told you, I went to school with Karen Mothershed, Thelma Mothershed's sister, one of the Little Rock Nine. Knew Karen from little kids all the way up. Never realized that was her sister until this day. Like I said, I think it was in 6th grade. I want to say it was in Miss Mansker's language arts class at Southwest Middle School. And we were watching, and Miss Mansker was black, and we were watching, we were studying black history. And of course, the Little Rock Nine came up. I'm sitting here and I'm recalling, this is so funny. And we were watching, I think it was a film. You know how they had, y'all don't know film. They used to bring a film projector into the room back in the day with us. Oh man, okay, I'll tell you what, we need to take a break. I'm gonna finish this story. All right, so let's take a break. We'll be back in a moment. You're listening to Black Focus Radio, our issues, our solutions, our voices on joynetradio.com.
Hi, I'm David W. Coleman, host of Black Focus Radio and the weekly sports magazine. We here at joynetradio.com would like to thank you for all the love and support you've given us. Our goal is to keep you inspired and informed daily with quality programming from gospel music, news, talk, and sports. Log on to joynetradio.com for the program lineup, and while there, be sure to make a donation. Then download our app and carry us anywhere in the world. Please continue to spread the word about joynetradio.com. And if you are an entrepreneur or have an upcoming event or you'd like to start a show, let the professional writers and producers here at joynetradio.com help you get the word out. Call me at 615-554-0568 for more details. In the meantime, stay informed and inspired daily right here on joynetradio.com. David W. Coleman here for Coleman's Dynamic Rib Rub and Rib Nuts. Go to ribrub.com, that's RIBBRUBB.com right now, and stock up on the best dry marinades for baking, grilling, and smoking your favorite meats. 3 great flavors, hot and spicy, original, and scorching. Try them at your next cookout and you'll shout, bake it, grill it, shake it, oh yeah! Only one place to get Coleman's Dynamic products, that's ribrub.com. Easy to order, and I'll ship direct to you or to friends and family anywhere in the United States. While on the site, be sure to check out other great items, especially the rib nuts. Who'd have thunk it? Peanuts sauteed in a barbecue marinade? That's just crazy good. Get them at ribrub.com right now, along with other great recipes. That's ribrub.com. If you don't like my rib rub or rib nuts, I'll give you money back. Do it today. That's Coleman's Dynamic Products at ribrub.com.
Listen! Did you miss Dr. Ernest Gill from UT San Antonio?
When you're making $455 million off these student athletes and all you can come up with is $5,000, John Calipari makes $8 million a year, and his players are going to get $5,000 a year. The majority of these teams were white men and white males and females. Would this be happening? And I would say no, because their families wouldn't let it happen. But we're letting our kids get pimped.
Join the weekly sports magazine every Saturday, 8 to 10 a.m. on joynetradio.com.
All right, welcome back to the show, Black Focus Radio. Our issues, our solutions, our voices. 855-525-5683 is the number. Coming up here at the top of the hour, we're going to talk a little bit about how you can nominate your dad to get a free Coleman's Dynamic gift box. I'm giving away 2 this year. Well, I think I gave away 5 last year, but I'm just giving away 2 this year. Okay, so I might give away a few more. So we'll see. We'll see what the response is, okay? Because I really want you all to get these gift boxes. All right, so I was talking about how I didn't realize I was living in the middle of chaos. And I was telling you about how Karen Mothershed, a friend of mine, who is the sister of Thelma Mothershed, which is one of the Little Rock Nine, we grew up together, and I didn't know until like 6th grade that she was her sister. So we were sitting in class watching a film, and they were talking about Black history and the Little Rock Nine. And they showed a picture of Thelma Mothershed. And Thelma Mothershed looks literally identical to her sister, Karen Mothershed. At least she did then, okay? So I'm sitting there watching this film, all right? You know, I was a very smart young man, and it hit me like a brick. And I turned, because Karen was like sitting, and I remember this so clearly. She was sitting like a row or something over from me. And I guess when she saw the picture, and of course you couldn't doubt that the last name was Mothershed. It was easy to put it together, right? So we kind of just locked eyes, and I just kind of mouthed to her, because in Miss Masker's class, you definitely don't talk out. That was not in my class, young man. And I mouthed to her, "Is that your sister?" And she shook her head, yes. And I threw my hands up like, I never knew. Then, of course, Miss Masker said, David? So that's how I discovered that Thelma Mothershed and her sister, younger sister, Karen Mothershed, were related, and all this. Well, if they're sisters, yeah, they're related. So I had some unique opportunities to interact with the Little Rock Nine. So Ernest Green and all of those people. So it's been great, and so we're back to Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Man, she's like a bad penny. Now, I know what you're saying, Dave. You just don't like Sarah Huckabee Sanders. I don't. I don't like liars. I don't like anyone who would lie to the American people and think it's a badge of honor. I don't like liars. Someone who would steal from the Arkansas public and its taxpayers, which is one of the poorest states in the country. It's in the bottom 5 on literally every negative statistic across the country. I don't like people who would steal from that state and pretend we're stupid when you bought a lectern for $20,000. Just don't like those people. So now, she's here in Washington last week with a delegation from Arkansas as this statue is dedicated. The statue of Daisey Gaston Bates in Statuary Hall. And there's a picture that was out there of her being up there in the front, smiling with glee. You said, well, David, what's wrong with that? This is the same woman who outlawed AP studies for African American just this past school year. Why are you there? And more importantly, why would you as black people want to be associated with her? That's the question that we need to ask ourselves. That's the question that you need to begin to ask yourself if you're one of those people. Here's a woman that don't want African American studies in our school system, and who has went as far as to block them from getting accreditation as AP studies. Okay? So I'm asking you, my friends, you who were there, I know some of you probably said, well, she's the governor, she has to go if she goes. And to some extent, you're right on that. But I don't want a picture with her. I don't want to be seen with her. I had a friend who called me and said, hey, Dave, you know they're donating the statue of Daisey Gaston Bates. I know you're in D.C., in the D.C. area. Are you going to come down to the Capitol? I said, no. And I didn't go. The reason I didn't go was because Sarah Huckabee Sanders was there. The woman who lied to the American people. The least qualified governor of all the governors in the country, who represents Arkansas, a state that I was born in, a state that I grew up in. And there's been some shameful stuff that has went on in Arkansas over the years. But I'm going to be honest with you. Sarah Huckabee Sanders becoming governor of Arkansas is probably the worst. Who is she an acolyte of? Look what's going on with him right now. You have to understand that people like her and her ilk attempted to overthrow the government. The one thing that hasn't happened yet is she hasn't explained her full role and what she knew or what she didn't know as it related relates to January 6, 2021. And she's the governor of Arkansas. It's an embarrassment. But what's even more embarrassing to me is black people who support her and her ilk. People who are the Trump sycophants. Y'all know those people, right? That's what's more disturbing to me than anything. There are people in Arkansas, and look, I love Annie Abrams. You know, Sean Scarborough got mad at me a couple of years ago. You know, they had Mike Huckabee as the keynote speaker. A man who has done everything in his power to work against Dr. King yet. He was the keynote speaker at the NAACP breakfast. I don't know what's going on with Arkansas leaders. But every day you should be working to take that state government back from the Republican Party. And it should start with Sarah Huckabee Sanders. You should not support her on anything that she does. Stop showing up. Stop pretending that she is this great person. The sad thing about it is she's a graduate of Little Rock Central. That very history that Daisey Bates made by fighting for equal rights at Little Rock Central will not be taught as an AP studied course in the Little Rock public school system. And as a matter of fact, very little African American history will be taught in Little Rock. To me, that's a problem. It should be to you. It should be to you. So, you're probably right. I don't particularly care for Sarah Huckabee Sanders. But she keeps making news because of idiocy. She keeps making news. All right, so we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to put a little sports twist on the show. Not X's and O's and scores, but two things that are happening in sports that have kind of irritated me. One is from a football player and the other one is from a WNBA basketball player. Y'all need to stay tuned for this. And if we get time, we certainly got to talk about the dust-up that was in the Oversight Committee. You know, I got the 3 Bs, well, the 6 Bs. We'll get into that here in just a moment. We'll take a break. It's called Black Focus Radio, our issues, our solutions, our voices on joynetradio.com.
The views and opinions expressed today on Black Focus Radio are not the views and opinions of the station, its management, or its advertisers. Now, let's get ready to focus on our issues, our solutions, using our voices on Black Focus Radio.
Welcome to Black Focus, the show designed with our community in mind, where we focus on our issues, developing our solutions, using our voices. Central Arkansas, surrounding areas, and the nation. Get ready. Black Focus starts right now. Phone lines open at 855-525-5683. So here's your host, David W. Coleman.
All right, welcome back to the second hour of Black Focus Radio. Our issues, our solutions, our voices. 855-525-5683 is the number. That's how you get in touch with us if you'd like to join the show. Hope you enjoyed the first part of the show. Of course, we talked a lot about these crazy people when it comes to Arkansas and Sarah Jethrine Sanders. We'll certainly keep our eyes posted on that as well as we go towards in the future. This segment, I want to talk a little bit about a couple of things. I want to talk about the kicker for Kansas City. His name was, Harrison Buttker. We'll talk about him. We're also going to talk a little bit about the 6 B's, and if you don't know what those are, then you're missing out. Okay, the 6 B's. There was a dust up in a committee hearing as well, and of course we're going to talk about this thing with Britney Griner. Now, let me just be real with you. If you listen to this show, you know I'm about facts. I don't care what your feelings are. I'm about facts. And sometimes facts hurt me. But facts are important if we are going to live in a civil society. I know there are some who like to obfuscate and like to call everything else a fact. But there are some basic facts that we all have to adhere to. And the great thing about science is science has done a fantastic job of making those facts reality. See, the one thing about me, and I guess that's why I'm not a very religious person. No offense to those of you who are. But I have a more scientific style mind. So I'm one of those guys who want you to prove it to me. And is it provable? So facts are important to me. Okay? One other thing though. There are some truths that we all have to agree to. Some basic facts when it comes to life and inception and, copulation and bringing children into the world, childbirth, and all that. There's some basic facts that we have to agree on. Would you agree with that? So, let me just pull this up for a minute, because these basic facts, let me see if it'll come up this way. These basic facts, let me see if it reads well. Okay. Let's do this. Let's see if it tells us what it is. Let's see. It's really even before that. Now that I say anything about this. Oh, it really is. So here's this thing. And so here's where I jumped to. I jumped to this phase called anaphase. There are like 4 phases of childbirth from meiosis to mitosis. Now, I know I may be getting in the weeds for some of you all, but I got to do this. This is how a child is born. Okay? This is just fact. This is what we know. This is basic scientific evidence. In fact, I remember studying this in the 7th grade. I had to write a report about the evolution of childbirth. But even before we get to the anaphase, prophase, telophase stages, it's even something else that has to happen. That means that a man and a woman must participate in sexual activity. I don't mean to be graphic, but they getting down, they clapping cheeks. Okay? And quite often after the cheeks are clapped, something happens. The man releases his sperm into the woman, and it travels up her fallopian tubes to look for eggs that may be in the ovulation period. And that seed, that man seed, that many of you all think that isn't important, the seed that determines whether or not that child is male or female, begins the process, begins anaphase. That can only happen between a male and a female. Recorded history has shown us that can only happen with a male or a female. I have 2 children. I have friends who have more than 2 children. You do too. I have cousins and aunts and all of those folks who have children. This basic practice, this basic form of evolution has been going on since the dawn of time. It has not changed. It will not change. So, that brings me back. That brings me back to Britney Griner. Here it says, Britney Griner, a woman's basketball player, scored by getting her wife pregnant with her wife's first child. Let that sink in. No, not yet. Let me read it again. It says, Britney Griner, a woman's basketball player, scored by getting her wife pregnant with her wife's first child. I'm gonna take a sip for a minute. This is nothing but water, but I still need to take a sip because that just kind of messed me up. Okay. I know you all think I'm crazy. By the way, shout out to my son who got me the new hat. This is a birthday gift, Dad's Gang. You're going to hear me talking more about Dad's Gangs here in just a little bit. But you understand what I'm saying here? You see, there was a reason that I went back and did that basic science walkthrough about how one becomes pregnant. It has not changed for millions of years. So, either this Facebook post, and I saved it to my wall on purpose, either something magnificent has happened to the evolution of mankind that now women can get another woman pregnant, or somebody lied to us. Okay? Which one do you think it is? I'm just asking for a friend, brother. Just asking for a friend. Because this don't make sense to me. Should make sense to you. But I think what irritates me the most, there were people out here, congratulations and all this other stuff. And maybe it's just me. And I know what you're going to say. Oh, you're anti-LGBTQ. I'm not. I'm anti-lie. Did you get that? Because when you put this kind of stuff out, that tells me that you would rather lie to me than to believe the truth. And I am a seeker of truth, as you should be. Now, if you want to sleep with another woman, that's your prerogative. I'm not hating on you for that. Okay? But don't try to make it like it's normal that a woman can get another woman pregnant, because that cannot happen. And it did not happen in this case, and it will never happen unless there's some evolutionary things that are going on. Here's the other thing, as I tell women all the time. Without us, you don't have kids. There's no such thing as spontaneous regeneration. That means that a female can impregnate herself and have a baby. Now, there are some instances in the animal kingdom, but that evolutionary thing has not occurred in the human species, if it is to occur at all. And until it does, it goes back to the basic principle. The scientific principle is that in order for a woman to get pregnant, there must be a man. Now, whether that is a frozen sperm cell that you got from the sperm bank, or you got a donor, or whatever the case may be, that donor, based on basic science, that donor is male. So when you tell me, let me read this again. Britney Griner, a women's basketball player, scored by getting her wife pregnant. Now, how the hell did she do that? Okay? Now, oh boy, I'll tell you, the conversation that I've had with some friends about this got pretty graphic. Because we know there are certain tools that you need, and I'm trying to be, because I'm on this air, trying to be professional. There are certain tools that you have to have. And in fact, not only do those tools need to be on the outside, but those tools also need to be on the inside. Just like it is important for women to be able to have fallopian tubes, it's important for men to be able to generate sperm that will help fertilize an egg. You have to be born with those things. Now, Britney Griner, to our knowledge, and unless someone else has said otherwise, was not born with those things. From a male perspective, she was born with those things from a female perspective. Okay? So, at the end of the day, she ain't got nobody pregnant. That's the facts that I'm getting to. You can be mad all you want. Don't care. Don't care. Because at the end of the day, I told you I'm about facts. That's what this show is about. Facts. Spare me. Don't want to hear it. He's LGBTQ. No, I'm not. I'm just tired of the BS that you all are putting out as it relates to this. From what you're trying to do in women's athletics. The thing is, if it's in women's athletics, then guess what? Why don't the women want to compete against the men? Take the best WNBA squad right now. Let's put them. Let's take the worst NBA team. Who was at the Pistons this year? Somebody. Take the worst one. Put them up against the best WNBA team. They get blown out. The WNBA by 30 minimum if those guys come to play. Okay? So all of this stupidity that people are trying to force down our throats as it relates to who you sleep with is ridiculous. I don't give a damn who you sleep with, but I give a damn that you start passing laws that make no damn sense at all. A stupid law is a dumb law. And just because you sleep with so at this point, who's gonna say that? Oh, I'm a cat. But if that's what you want to do, that's on you. Go for it. I ain't mad at you. I always tell people that your rights end where mine began. Okay? I'm just saying. 855-525-5683 is the number. While we got a little time, let's go ahead and do this. And when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about Harrison Buttker and the dust-off that was in the committee hearing. We'll get to those here in just a moment. But while we've got a good little time, I want to talk a little bit about Father's Day. Okay? Father's Day is right around the corner. And you know, every year on the show I talk about things that you should be getting your father. And it's a real simple list. No shirts, no ties, no belts, no underwear. Okay? You can start off with stuff like grills, electronic devices, things of that nature. Trips are good. So I say all that because of two things. I had the pleasure, let's make sure I have time. I had the pleasure of meeting a young man. I've met two young men. I don't know if I've told the story, but I'm going to tell them real fast. I met one young man because I'm usually out in the Baltimore area a lot in the mornings. And I was near a school and I saw a young man who was walking and he was leaving the school, from what I could tell. He was walking real fast and he looked frustrated. And I saw his shirt and it said, "I'm a great dad." It was kind of misting and I don't know, hell, I rolled down the window and said, "Hey, what's up, man? You all right?" He said, "Yeah, man, I just missed the damn bus to take me to the train, to take me back home, to get to work. I'm going to be late to work. I had to bring my son to school." And I just looked at him and I said, "Hey, man, are you a great dad?" He said, "Yeah, I am." And he began to tell me, or try to tell me, while my window's down, he's on the sidewalk, I'm in the street, why he's a great dad. I said, "Hey, man, come on, get in." He said, "What?" I said, "You need a ride? Come on, get in." He said, "I don't know, man. You know, it's crazy people." I said, "Bro, would I have asked you, are you a great dad, if I was up to something?" So he gets in the car and he tells me the story of his son. And he talks about the relationship he has with the mother, how they co-parent, and he had the child, and it was his time to get him to school, and he takes him. They have to ride the train, the bus, to get him to school, and then he has to ride it back, and he had missed it. That's one story. Another story, a brother gets in the car, and he says, man, we're riding, and it was a pretty long ride for him, and he says, hey, can I talk to you, OG? I said, yeah. He says, he starts telling me about his problems with his woman and how she's using the kids against him and turning them against him. And we had a wonderful conversation of what some of the things that he needs to do. And before he got out of the car, you know what he told me? He said, thank you, sir. He said, I've never had a man to talk to me about women. This guy was 37 years old. So, with that being said, I'm getting ready to restart I Love My Children Too. It was a fathers' rights organization that highlighted fathers and the positive things they did in the community. We are going to go out and reset the web page, the Facebook page, so people can join. That's the first thing. The second thing that we're doing is we're giving away some gift boxes. Coleman's Dynamic Products is giving away some gift. I say some, I said two, but it probably may be more. Okay. The only thing you need to do is go out to the Facebook page right now and nominate your dad. If you want to write something about him, that's good. I'll take it, because whoever, let's put it this way. If you write something about it, when I pick the winner, I'm gonna read it. Okay? So you want your dad to get some love, so write something. But if you don't, just nominate your dad. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put the names in a box, pull a name out, and until I decide how many gift boxes I'm gonna give away. Right now, I'm up to 3. I'll give away 3 gift boxes. All you gotta do is go out to the web page or go out to the Facebook page. My wall, I'm gonna put this information on the wall as well. It's easy. I just want to spread some love in honor of I Love My Children coming back. I just want to spread some love. All right. So let's do that. All right. Okay. All right. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, let's see, where do we want to go? We're gonna talk about Harrison Buttker. Okay. You know, it's funny how things happen in this world where every time white people do something stupid, there's something that comes back. I don't know, people call it karma, that shows you that some of you are just fools, that you're hypocrites. We're not talking about that. You're listening to Black Focus Radio, our issues, our solutions, our voices. Man, it's good to be back. On JoyNetRadio.com. Back in a moment.
Bake it, grill it, smoke it. Oh yeah, at RearBrub.com. Coleman's Dynamic Pepper Juice is lighting fires around the country. It's the new product from RearBrub.com. Use it on meats and vegetables. Add it to your gumbos and greens for an extra punch. Made with all natural ingredients, Coleman's Dynamic Pepper Juice will enhance the flavors of your favorite recipes. Order today on RearBrub.com. And while there, be sure to check out some of our other great products. It's developed with love and care using the best all-natural ingredients with no GMOs or preservatives. From snacks to seasonings, Coleman's Dynamic Products has something for everyone. Bake it, grill it, smoke it. Oh yeah, at RearBrub.com.
Hey, beautiful. You look gorgeous. Are you doing something different? There's a healthy glow about you.
Thanks. I'm just my natural self.
Come on. What's your secret?
Okay. Since I found skintentional.com, I've been getting a lot of those comments.
Skintentional.com?
Yes, skintentional.com is handcrafted, luxurious natural baths and body care products. Crafted for those with a designer's taste for high-quality skincare products but won't break your bank. From body butter to oils and soaps, Skintentional has something for everyone, including the man in your life. Get your man some beard balm and oils, and yes, they offer body butters and soap for him as well, without making him smell like flowers. Go to skintentional.com and check out their amazing products. They believe self-care should be an intentional and joyous experience for all. Skintentional.com.
Pigskin, check. Round ball, check. Hard ball, check. Hockey puck, check. Burning rubber, check. We got it all on the weekly sports page with David Coleman. What else do you need? Did I say food? Can't have sports without food. What kind of show is this again?
A sports show.
Oh, okay. Pass me those rib nuts.
Yeah, we do have it all and a whole lot more with me, Dynamic David Coleman, on the weekly sports magazine.
All right, welcome back to the show, Black Focus Radio. Our issues, our solutions, our voices. 855-525-5683 is the number. That's how you get in touch with me if you'd like to join the show. Before the break, I was telling people how good it is to be back, and it really is. I've been in hiatus for a while now, trying to get things together. We're trying to put together a little studio here. We're getting close. This will probably be the back set. I've got a front set that's in front of me that I'm gonna develop as well. I've got this new place. There's nothing on the walls, and I don't know that I want to put anything on the walls. But I've got some very heavy pictures that I need to hang. So we'll get into all of that here in just a moment. But we were talking just this last hour about the Father's Day giveaway. Look, I'll do it up to the weekend of Father's Day. I'll get some more details out online here in a little bit, okay? But I want to talk a little bit about Harrison Buttker. And last segment before we broke, I talked a little bit about how karma sometimes makes fools out of all of us. And certainly it continually happens with the Republican Party or conservatives or whatever they're calling themselves, the evangelicals or whatever. It just goes to show you that there are a lot of people who don't, number one, know the Constitution, and number two, only think that it affects them. It's for them. And you know who those people I'm talking to, right? You know, y'all know. There are some white people, let's be clear, that thinks that the Constitution is only for them. It doesn't apply to black, brown, Asian, or to some extent some women, particularly if that woman is considered a liberal. All right? So Harrison Buttker, he is the kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay? And he made a controversial statement at his Benedict College commencement, and it went viral. The athlete said in his speech that students should have true God-centered pride, not the deadly sin sort of pride that has an entire month dedicated to it. Woo. As well as attacking Democrats' stance on abortion. The speech has become such a hot topic that even The View host Whoopi Goldberg weighed in. The actress addressed Butker's sexist and anti-LGBTQ comments from his speech on May 16th. Okay. But what Harrison Buttker actually said But what did Harrison Buttker actually say to cause such an outrage? There are 7 key takeaways, and I'm going to read them, and everyone, let's see, one of them is abortion is murder. Bishops are misleading their flock. I guess he's talking about the Catholic bishops. Well, you got a point there because, you know, they were pedophiles. Harrison, do you need to confess? I'm sorry. That was bad. I'm sorry. LGBTQ plus pride is sinful. A woman's place is in the home. Ooh, I bet they got some rankles up. That was number 4. This was a commencement speech, and so is a man's actually. Okay, COVID also comes up a few times. Let's see what he said here. Let's see. He seems to think that the response to the pandemic was excessive, saying we cannot buy into the lie that the things we experienced during COVID were appropriate. Over the centuries. There have been great wars, great famines, and yes, even great diseases that came with a level of lethality and danger. But in each of those examples, church leaders leaned into their vocations, and ensured that their people received the sacraments. See, these are the Marjorie Taylor Greene people, man. Thank God he's just a liquored up kicker. What the hell? And here's number 7. We live in a post-God world. You know what? I'm kind of glad we live in a post-God world, because there are people like you who claim to be of God that clearly is not. And I'm tired of you all trying to push your religion on me, whether it is Christian, whether it is Islam, whether it's Buddhism, whatever religion or ism that you have. I don't want it. I am an American. This is a country of freedom of religion. The fact that you can worship the way you want is the beauty of this country. And for anyone to suggest that that should change is anathema to democracy. Period. End of story. If you believe in a holy trinity or whatever the case may be, that's great. I'm proud for you. Just because I don't believe in it doesn't make you better than me. And then when I look at the fruits of your labor, when I read your text, your Bibles, your Quran, and see that you who claim to uplift this religion will be the very ones headed to the gates of hell. This is Harrison Buttker and his ilk. And there are a lot of people out here who are saying, oh, well, leave Harrison alone. He has a right to free speech. He does. Yes, he does. I totally agree with him. You see, here's the thing that I always tell people. I want these people to speak out. You want to know who they are. You want them to, who are his associates. Because birds of a feather flock together. Right? So I want Harrison Buttker to speak out. And there are a lot of people who are upset because now he's getting huge backlash from this speech. He had to know he was going to get some backlash. You know, I don't know Harrison Butker's background, but I don't know that I need a liquored up kicker and I don't know that he was licking up. That's a quote from Peyton Manning about one of his kicker back in the day. But I don't know that I am going to take any, solace, any peaceable steps because of what Harrison Buttker might say to me on graduation day. In fact, most of these kids were probably drunk anyway. Look, I don't care if it was at Benedictine College or whatever it was. Hey, at the end of the day, you just graduated. You get drunk, bro. Let's be real. That's what your little kid doing right now. But anyway, so here's my point. And this is why I'm talking about this. Because those very people who are upset that people are coming out against Harrison Buttker, his right for free speech, were the very same people who went after Colin Kaepernick and tried to cancel him. These very same people were not talking about free speech when it came to Colin Kaepernick. Were you? No, sir. No, sir. So, spare me. And this is what I'm talking about with karma. Because everything that they've attempted to do, every issue that they've attempted to put forward, to paint themselves as a victim, has blown up in their faces. Everyone. We are on the brink of total disaster in this country if we are not careful. It begins in November with the election. And I'm sorry to say that either way, win or lose, Donald Trump is going to sow chaos. And there are white people who support Harrison Buttker. Look, there are some issues. You heard me last segment talk about the Britney Griner issue. Them people still have a right to live, even though they lie too. They're no better than the Republicans when they lie and say a woman gets another woman pregnant. But you can go back and listen to that segment. But my point is that all of this is nothing more than a lie. And it seems to me that there are a lot of white people who think that there are certain things that apply to them and certain things that do not. And then if it does not, then they're upset. But if it's a black person who is experiencing the same, no one cares. No one cares. So last week at the PGA, did y'all read about this? And Scottie Scheffler was going to the PGA, a major. There was an accident. Someone had been hit by a truck and killed. Scottie Scheffler, this was early in the morning, about 5 a.m. He was trying to get to the tee to begin his routine of practicing. He went by an officer, and apparently there were words, and all of a sudden he was arrested. He was treated pretty badly from what the reports were. And as I listened to the reports, I heard all of these people trying to make an excuse as to they didn't want to criticize the cop for doing his job, but they certainly didn't want to criticize Scottie Scheffler. And I chuckled. Because anytime I hear of anything like this happening, because a lot of these reporters seem to be upset with the cop. They didn't say it, but you could hear it in their voices. They were upset that this guy didn't see that logo and that P that meant player, and that player could have went around, but they didn't also take into account that someone had been killed, the reason the traffic was so bad, and the cop was there to direct traffic, and you had someone who, because he thought he should have been known by this cop, decided that he was not going to obey. And the cops snatched him out, handcuffed him, and took him to jail. And I chuckled. Because there was clearly a misunderstanding on both sides. But here's the point. The one thing that they all missed, because these were white reporters, is the fact, or let me just say it like this: welcome to Black America. And you know what? Scotty lived to tell his story. If that had been a black man, he might have been shot. Hello. So, when you worry about Harrison, here's the bottom line. He doesn't get a pass because he's a conservative white boy. You didn't give Colin Kaepernick a pass when he was the very one talking about police brutality and black men being surreptitiously shot in what should have been a simple encounter with the police. Yeah. We're gonna take a break. Our last break. We gotta cover this dust up in Congress. You're listening to Black Focus Radio. Our issues, our solutions, our voices on JoinNetRadio.com.
Hey, beautiful. You look gorgeous. Are you doing something different? There's a healthy glow about you.
Thanks. I'm just my natural self.
Come on. What's your secret?
Okay. Since I found SkinTentional.com, I've been getting a lot of those comments.
SkinTentional.com?
Yes. SkinTentional.com is handcrafted, luxurious natural baths and body care products. Crafted for those with a designer's taste for high-quality skincare products, but won't break your bank. From body butter to oils and soaps, SkinTentional has something for everyone, including the man in your life. Get your man some beard balm and oils, and yes, they offer body butters and soap for him as well, without making him smell like flowers. Go to SkinTentional.com and check out their amazing products. They believe self-care should be an intentional and joyous experience for all. SkinTentional.com.
Business owner, can I talk to you for a moment? How many people have come up to you and said, hey, I didn't know you had a business? Yeah, that can happen when you don't advertise. I have a solution for you. Advertise on JoinNetRadio.com and let the world know that you're in business. I know what you're thinking. Advertising is so expensive. I've got a great package for you that will cut your expense and increase your bottom line. It's only $125 for startup and new businesses. Call me, David W. Coleman, at 615-554-0568, and I'll put together a package specifically for your business. Now is the time to tell the world, hey, I'm in business. Come spend your money on quality goods in my store. Let us help you at JoinNetRadio.com. Here's the number. Call me, 615-554-0568. We are here to assist you in building your brand.
Coleman's Dynamic Products would like to thank you for all the support you've given us over the years. Our growth could not have happened without your purchases and word of mouth to your friends and family. That says you believe and trust us to provide Coleman's Dynamic Products with no fillers and all natural ingredients. We began with our flagship product, Rib Rub, and now it has expanded into snacks, seasonings, salts, rib juice, and pepper juice. We could not have done it without you. I'm David W. Coleman, founder and president, and I want to personally thank you for the encouraging words and support. Coleman's Dynamic Products will continue to be the best dry marinades, seasonings, and sauces you've ever put in your mouth. That's ribrub.com, RIBBRUBB, and you know what we like to say, bake it, grill it, smoke it, oh yeah.
Welcome back to the show. Black Focus Radio, our issues, our solutions, our voices. 855-525-5683 is the number. That's how you get in touch with me if you'd like to join the show. So, I'm going to throw a curveball to the show. There were a couple other things I was going to talk about. I want to talk a little bit about this dust up in committee. We'll get to that in the next show. I will just say that Jasmine Crockett, don't come for her. Okay? Marjorie Taylor Greene apparently did in a committee hearing, and man, there was some fireworks, bro. This is what our Congress has devolved to. But be that as it may, she needed to call her a bleach blonde built, bad built butch body. This is the kind of stuff that was going on in the committee hearings. It was crazy. You know, I also want to talk about, but before we go, there's one thing that we are going to jump into here in a moment. Clarence Thomas accepted 38 vacations, 28 private jet flights, a dozen VIP passes to sporting events, rooms at a luxury resort, and his nephew's tuition payments. Crow then bought the property Clarence Thomas' mother lived on. Clarence reported none of it. Clarence stated this week that he's the target of lies. But see, here's the thing about it, Clarence. Nobody's lying but you. These are the people who are sitting at our Supreme Court. We're in serious problems. We're in serious trouble. There are people that clearly, now we knew it, we had no evidence, but we have it now that our government is bought out by special interest. And the only way to do this is to take it back by the people, not by someone like Donald Trump. Okay? I'm just saying. So, I threw a curveball. I was going to talk about that dust up. Touched on it just a little bit then, but there's something that, I've purposely tried to make sure that I kept the hip-hop world as far away from my shows as possible. I'm just being real. Not a fan. I was at one point, but as of late, the last few years, the music has gotten worse. The lyrics have gotten unlistenable. So I just turn it off. But there has been a reckoning going on in the hip-hop world with a lot of these young black moguls. JC's, R. Kelly, P. Diddy, all of these people are now getting their comeuppance, and we're realizing and understanding just how, I guess you could say, evil and the debauchery that went on with these guys. There have been a lot of rumors about Sean Puffy Combs. Many people think right now he's on the run. There was a video that came out the other day where he and his then girlfriend Cassie, I follow this on a tangential basis, but I know enough to discuss it. This video came out of them being in a hotel, and clearly he was beating the hell out of this girl. A few months ago, she had sued him, and they settled out of court with a non-disclosure agreement. But this video came out none the same. Or I should say just the same. And when you watch this video, how are y'all supporting this guy? How are y'all supporting him? It's like the Ray Rice video. You can't support what you saw. But, you know, there are always people who will try. You know, and one of them was Floyd Mayweather. And one of the things that Floyd said, that he's not going to speak bad about P. Diddy. You know, this video is just one of many allegations that have come to light with the rap culture and P. Diddy as a whole. Much of what Cat Williams said in the interview on Club Shay Shay, I think that's the name of the show. Much of what he said is coming to fruition. All of you who think that Jay-Z was this mogul, we forget from what we've been told that he started messing with Beyonce when she was 16. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. There is nothing wrong with an older man with a younger woman, if that woman is of age. Hello? There's nothing wrong with an older woman with a younger man, if that woman is of age. But I think it's important for us to address this, because Floyd Mayweather basically said that he's not going to speak ill of P. Diddy. P. Diddy has come out with, or I should say, Sean Puffy Combs. What is he going by? Did he do what to do? I didn't do it. What the hell is he going by now? Who knows? But now Combs have come out with an apology, quote unquote, about this video. It was one of those apologies that isn't an apology, and this video is filmed and you see thatched roofs. So he's somewhere maybe in the Bahamas, or probably a no extradition state, because he's going to be extradited based on some of the stuff that has come out about what he did as an up and coming music mogul to not just girls but boys as well. And the sad thing about it, you would hope that these rumors were not true, but apparently they are. Apparently they are. So he's on the run. And Floyd Mayweather, who has lots of money, he can talk whatever he wants. He can say whatever he wants. This is a free country. But again, it's one of those situations where we in the black community are so quick to condone bad behavior. What Sean Combs allegedly has done is an abomination. Not just to that video we saw on Cassie. You know, Mayweather said we're not going to speak on bad on a black man. Well, that's part of the problem. We've been turning our heads. We all have made mistakes in our lives. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But when you see that video, when you see that video where he unmercifully beat that woman, threw stuff at her, kicked her twice, yeah, I'm not supporting that as a black man. I'm not. I tell women all the time, don't hit a man and a man shouldn't hit a woman. That should be a given. But when you saw that, when you see that video, if you have not seen it, for anyone to say don't speak bad on him because of what we saw. Are you out your rabbit-assed mind? Have you taken too many blows to the head, Floyd? I'm just wondering here. See, here's the problem in our community. And as we head out the door, we're talking, this is part of what we must do. Here's the problem in our community. I think Malcolm X, whom we just celebrated his birthday, said it best. We are the only community where our leaders are professional athletes and preachers. People who are not very educated as it relates to the overall existence of mankind. You look at other communities and their leaders are doctorates, master's degrees, lawyers, business owners, CEOs. And there will be a lot of people who will click like on Floyd's post. Yeah, I'm with you, Floyd. You know, everything is against the black man. You know, the black man can't get over. You know, wait a minute. I can agree with all of that. What I can't agree with is watching that video and seeing how he beat that girl. Okay? That's what I can't agree to. There was no excuse. That's the kind of stuff that if it's my daughter, I'm coming to get you. Yeah, I'm an old fogey, so I'm not going to fight you. I'm coming to shoot you. You think I'm kidding? I've told this story before. My daughter was quoted in U.S. News and World Report a few years ago during the Black Lives Matter marches in Chicago. She was actively participating in it, which I was proud of her. The guy looked her up on Facebook and started calling her. She called her dad. She said, "Dad, this guy is harassing me on Facebook and calling me, threatening me." I said, "Do you know his name?" She gave me his name. I looked him up on Facebook, and there he was, lo and behold, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and he had a phone, and I called him. I said, "Sir, you don't know me, but apparently my daughter has said that you've been calling and harassing her." I said, "Here's the one thing that you have to understand, that she is not alone. And if I get a call from her again, I'm going to come and visit you." And he began to talk noise. And I said, "Before you talk noise to me," I said, "Is your address so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so?" Yeah. He got quiet. I said, "I'm looking at your house right now." I was actually on Google Earth looking at his house. I told him what it looked like. I said, "Now, if my daughter gets another call from you, threatening or saying anything to her, I'm coming to visit you." And I was not playing. She didn't get another call. So, I don't know where her parents were, but was she even communicating to her parents that she was being beaten? Because I guarantee you that was not the first beating. That was a culmination of many beatings that this young lady probably suffered at the hands of Sean Combs. And see, Floyd, I know you're not going to talk ill of that black man, but I am. That was an abomination. And as far as I'm concerned, he should go to jail, if possible. If there aren't any statutes of limitations that have been that are over he and all the others, because we're hearing now that many of those rappers abused young girls, beat them, assaulted them, sexually assaulted them, and that's all coming out. Cat Williams said in 2024 all of it is going to come to light. So what we must do, we need to support Cassie. We need to stop supporting people like Sean, Diddy Combs, people like Jay-Z, who lied their way to the top, and now the chickens are coming home to roost. I don't feel sorry for you, because the poison that you have spewed into our community has done more damage psychologically that will not be reversed for decades. Thank you. And I don't wish ill of anyone, but I would argue that maybe it's about time. Hope you enjoyed the show. We got to get out of here. Don't forget, Father's Day giveaway. Father's Day giveaway. Father's Day giveaway. I'm giving away gift boxes. Just nominate your father, put it on my page, and we'll go from there. Okay? Y'all have a great day. You're listening to Black Focus Radio. Our issues, our solutions, our voices on joynetradio.com.
You've been listening to Black Focus, where we discuss our issues with our solutions and our voices. Join us every weekday afternoon at 1 p.m. on joynetradio.com.